The story of Elisa Lam begins with a quiet sense of wonder. She was a traveler searching for meaning far from home, a young woman who believed that the world was full of stories waiting for her to explore. Her journey brought her to Los Angeles, a city buzzing with lights, crowds, movement, and noise, yet she chose to stay at a place that carried a different kind of energy, the Cecil Hotel. At first glance, it stood like an old monument overshadowed by its own past, its walls stained with decades of whispered rumors, tragedies, and restless memories. Elisa didn't know much about the hotel's history when she checked in. To her, it was simply a budget-friendly stop on her adventure. She walked into the lobby with her small backpack, glancing around at the faded carpets, dim yellow lights, and hallways that seemed to stretch into shadow. Her cheeks were warmed by the excitement of documenting everything. She wanted her trip to be memorable, filled with new experiences and people. But sometimes, the places we choose begin shaping our journey in ways we never imagine. Elisa posted updates online, sharing her enthusiasm and small details about her days, but beneath her cheerful words hid a quiet restlessness. Something about the hotel felt heavy, like the air carried an invisible tension that clung to her thoughts. Still, she pushed it aside, telling herself it was only fatigue. But as the days went by, the subtle sense of unease slowly grew. The hallways felt colder at night, the sounds from other rooms seemed too distant, and sometimes, when she walked alone, it felt like the building itself was watching. Elisa's presence inside the Cecil Hotel was calm but curious. She explored nearby streets, photographed the murals, and wrote about the strangers she encountered. Yet each evening when she returned, the hotel greeted her with the same silent stare. On the night before everything changed, Elisa stepped into the elevator, a place that should have been simple and ordinary, but what happened inside turned into one of the most disturbing pieces of footage ever recorded. The buttons lit up under her fingers as she pressed several floors at once, her expression shifting from confusion to fear. She peeked out of the elevator as if someone stood just beyond the frame, someone invisible to the camera. Her hands moved in strange patterns, her posture tense, her eyes full of questions that would never be answered. Moments later, she vanished from sight, leaving only that eerie recording behind. When she didn't return to her room the next morning, no one knew that a deeper mystery had already begun weaving through the walls of the building. Days passed. Guests complained about water pressure. The tap sputtered black, murky water. No one imagined that these small inconveniences were connected to her disappearance. The quiet dread lingering around the hotel grew heavier. And soon, the truth waiting above the building, in a place no one thought to look, would change everything. As the complaints piled up, a maintenance worker climbed the stairs to the rooftop, unaware of the grim discovery awaiting him. The sky above the Cecil Hotel was gray that morning, muted and dull, as if even the weather knew something was wrong. The worker reached the large water tanks, towering and silent, their metal surfaces cold beneath the touch. One lid was slightly off position. It shouldn't have been. He hesitated, then pushed it open, and the sight inside froze him where he stood. Elisa Lam had been missing for over 2 weeks, but she had been here, hidden in the hotel's water supply, alone in darkness while the world searched below. News of the discovery cracked through Los Angeles like a shockwave. Police arrived, investigators swarmed the rooftop, and reporters filled the streets in front of the hotel. Suddenly, every whisper turned into a theory. How did she get there? Why was the lid open? If the rooftop door was locked, how had she reached the tanks? And what about the elevator footage, the frantic gestures, the fear in her eyes, the moments when she seemed to be interacting with someone unseen? Investigators traced her last known movements, reviewing camera after camera, searching for anything that explained her final hours. But the hotel offered no answers, only more confusion. The rooftop was supposed to be inaccessible. The water tanks were heavy and difficult to open. No footprints were found around the area. And the elevator footage, replayed millions of times, became a mirror for every viewer's imagination. Some said she was hiding from someone. Others believed she was frightened by something only she could sense. Her online posts showed glimpses of her emotional struggles, yet they didn't tell a complete story. Friends described her as bright, thoughtful, full of dreams, not someone who simply walked into danger without reason. And still, the Cecil Hotel loomed silently over the investigation, its long, dark history adding layers of uncertainty. Over the decades, the hotel had witnessed crime, tragedy, and shadows that refused to fade. Elisa's case became another piece of its unsettling legend, a mystery stitched into its walls. As the days moved on and the investigation reached its final stages, one truth remained: no one truly knew what happened inside those last hours. Whether it was fear, confusion, a hidden encounter, or an unseen moment that led her to the rooftop, the story remained painfully incomplete. Elisa's life was more than a mystery, it was the story of a young woman searching for meaning, swept into a place that carried too many secrets and not enough answers. Her final chapter left the world with chills, questions, and a haunting reminder that sometimes the most terrifying mysteries aren't the ones crafted by horror stories, they're the ones left behind in real life, lingering in the quiet spaces where certainty disappears. And so, the Cecil Hotel stands as a monument to unanswered questions, a place forever tied to the memory of a traveler who walked in seeking experience and instead became the center of one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of our time.